You are not bad with money. You were just handed the wrong system. Every year, millions of people do exactly what they were told to do. Study hard, get a job, work your way up. And every year, they look at their bank account and wonder why nothing is really changing. Here is the uncomfortable truth. There is a quiet mechanism built into the way modern salary works, and almost nobody explains it. Not your school, not your HR department, not your manager. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what it is, and once you do, you cannot unsee it. If you want to understand how this system actually operates beneath the surface, not motivational talk, but the real structure, subscribe. That is what this channel exists for. Picture a Monday morning. You wake up before you want to, you commute, you sit through meetings that could have been emails, you hit your targets, you stay late when it matters. You are doing everything right, and somehow it still feels like you are treading water. Maybe you got a raise last year, 3%, 4% if you pushed for it, and you celebrated briefly. Then groceries went up, rent went up, your car insurance renewed at a higher rate. The salary disappeared into thin air before you even noticed it. You are not imagining that. You are not being dramatic. What you are experiencing has a name, and it is not laziness or bad luck. It is structural, it is predictable, and it is designed to stay invisible. Most people go their entire careers without someone sitting them down and explaining how the machine actually works. So let me do that now. The problem is not that your employer is evil. The problem is not that you are not working hard enough. The problem is that salary is a linear system living in an exponential world. Here's what that means in plain language. Your salary grows in steps. Small, negotiated, annual steps. Inflation grows quietly, continuously, every single day. Assets, the things that generate wealth, grow exponentially, compounding on themselves. Salary, steps. Inflation, steady climb. Assets, exponential curve. You are running a foot race, but two of the other competitors are on a completely different track, and nobody told you the rules were different for them. But the salary trap goes deeper than inflation. There's an architectural reason why salary income has a ceiling built into it, and I will walk you through exactly why in a moment. It comes down to one concept that changes how you look at every paycheck you will ever receive. If you've ever looked at your bank account after a solid month of work and thought, "This does not add up," comment "salary trap" below. You are not the only one. Why salary has a built-in ceiling. When you take a job, you're entering into a specific kind of agreement. You trade a fixed unit, your time, for a fixed price, your salary. The key word is fixed. No matter how efficiently you work, no matter how much value you create in a single hour, your income is capped by the number of hours available to you. There are 24 in a day. You sleep in some of them, you recover in others. The math does not expand. Time is the only input you are selling, and time does not scale. Now contrast that with an asset, a business, a skill that generates royalties, a piece of software, an investment. It works whether you are awake or not. It does not clock out at 5. It does not take sick days. It compounds. It accumulates. It does not care what time zone you are in. Your salary earns while you work. An asset earns while you exist. How inflation quietly erodes the ground beneath you. Here's an analogy. Imagine you're walking toward a destination on a moving walkway, except the walkway is moving backward. You have to walk fast just to stay in place. To actually move forward, you have to walk faster than the belt is pulling you back. That is inflation in relation to salary. That 3% raise last year, in many markets, inflation ran at 4, 5, even 6%. You technically received a raise. In real purchasing power, you took a pay cut. And here's the part that rarely gets said out loud. A salary that does not beat inflation is a salary that is quietly shrinking every year. Why corporate structures reward stability over freedom. Companies are not designed to make you wealthy. They are designed to function predictably. Stability is valuable to a company. Reliable people who show up, produce, and do not cause disruption. The system rewards that, with job security, with titles, with incremental raises. What it does not reward is your financial independence, because your financial independence is not part of the company's business model. That's not cynicism, that's just an honest description of incentives. Your manager wants you to succeed within the company. The company wants you to be productive enough to stay and reliant enough not to leave. The system is not broken. It's working exactly as it was designed, just not for you. This is the foundation of what I walk through in the Escape the Salary Trap guide, how the system is structured and where the actual leverage points are. The link is in the description if you want to go deeper. This is the part where most people expect me to say, quit your job, burn it all down, go be an entrepreneur. I am not going to say that, because that is not the insight. The insight is more subtle and more useful. The goal is not to escape immediately. The goal is to stop being entirely dependent. There is a difference between being trapped and being in a temporary position. A trap has no exit. A position is something you can change with information and time. The people who escape the salary trap rarely do it in one dramatic move. They do it slowly, quietly, by understanding leverage. They keep their job, they pay their bills, and in parallel, they start building something that does not require their constant presence to generate value. Not louder, not harder, differently. The shift is not about anger. Anger at your employer is wasted energy. The shift is about seeing clearly. You are not a bad employee for wanting more. You are not ungrateful for recognizing that a salary alone is not a financial plan. You are not naive for thinking there is a way to build something beyond this. You are just someone who has started paying attention. And that is the beginning of everything. Here is a strange reality about knowledge. The information you just heard in this video is not secret. It is not protected behind a paywall or locked in an Ivy League library. But most people will still never really absorb it. Not because they are not smart enough, because they are too tired, too distracted, or too convinced that this is just how things are. Most people will watch something like this, nod along, and then go back to the same routine tomorrow. That is not a criticism, that is just the pattern. The system runs on that pattern. But a small percentage of people, the ones who are genuinely curious, not just briefly interested, will take it further. And those people eventually discovered the most important rule of leverage. It is simple, almost obvious when you hear it, but it changes the entire frame of how you see income, time, and financial progress. Here it is. The only way to escape a linear income is to build something that earns without your direct hourly input. That is it. That is the whole principle. Not glamorous, not complicated, but rare, because executing it requires patience, intention, and a willingness to think differently than you were trained to think. The people who understand this quietly become less financially fragile over time. The people who do not keep grinding the same loop and wondering why nothing changes. Here's what I want to leave you with. You will work a lot of hours in your life. The question worth asking is not just, am I getting paid fairly for those hours? The better question is any part of my financial life growing while I'm not working? If the answer is no, you are fully dependent on a system that was never designed to make you free. That is not a hopeless position, but it is one worth understanding honestly. A small percentage of people will take this seriously enough to act on it. If you are one of them, curious enough, patient enough, intentional enough, the Escape the Salary Trap guide is in the description. It is not a magic fix. It's a framework for thinking about leverage the way that top earners already do. And if you found this useful, subscribe. Every week, Corporate Rat explains another piece of the system they never taught you in school. Now you know. Use it.